Welcome back to Me, I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. Thank God we have departed the regular verse. We were in there for a month.
Forever.
It was a long time to be in the regular verse, in the racist regular verse.
And I got sick too immediately after. That can't be a coincidence.
You did get very unwell in the middle of the regular verse. Like once I exited the regular dome. I left behind a passel of germs for you, and I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I apologize profusely. How are you feeling now? This is Fab. That's
I have
Posh,
no
in
idea.
case you haven't met us.
Hello. I feel like we both sound haggard as shit at this point. That's Posh. It's Fab. I don't know. I'm not alive, so we're tackling one thing at a time.
We're just thinking up stupid reasons to keep this podcast going because we finished the book.
Yeah, I know.
Just waiting for her to announce the second volume. Come on, Mariah, bring us another
come
book.
On, bring it.
We just need some other book, some other content. Just keep us going here.
Recently, so my best friend Melanie C put out a memoir. And I was like, oh, I need to do this, but I don't know anyone who would be as insane as I am to do it.
Well, maybe it can be. Look, should we just make it a chapter of this?
This is the whole book. Mariah C. Carey.
Mariah C. Carey.
Anyway, so look, we're mental, but all we have to do is count backwards from 15, which I mean that's already challenging enough.
It feels, yeah. Because we had intended some me moments, but instead we're going to hold those over for the Butterfly 25 because the moments just keep coming. Like if we had if we had recorded when we intended to record this one, we would have missed the new video with Brandy. So
yes.
It's best we hold off for a minute because there could be some more Butterfly 25 moments in the next week that we want to cover.
Minutes, as Mariah has clarified.
Yes.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. 25 minutes since Butterfly came out. It's making me feel very old because that was like, you know, a later album as far as I was concerned once upon a time.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
So within those first 4 or 5, I see. Oh,
yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah. It was
I remember when this one came out.
Yeah.
So if I remember when it came out, it's a while ago.
At least 25 minutes ago.
Exactly.
So, yes, that'll be coming to you in the next week or two. Knowing us, it could be a month away because we could spend forever doing this one.
That's true.
But that means what have we got in store for this week?
So I just thought we'd refresh on where we're at with our lists. And then I just got a bunch of lame lists that everyone sent in. I've done calculations, darling.
Oh, you love a calculation.
I do love a calculation. I've pulled together,
we
the
got
top
medians,
15 from the
averages.
Yes. Just because I copy and paste it into a thing on Google. I don't actually count it myself because math. All right, so let's start. We'll start with looking at Fab's list. Just a reminder, we had at 15 Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. Number 14 was Me, I Am, Mariah, the Elusive Chanteuse. 13, Merry Christmas to You. Charm Bracelet at number 12. E = MC squared at number 11. 10 was Emotions, of which we have many.
We have many emotions about emotions.
9 was Rainbow. 8, Daydream. I mean, what was he thinking?
I love them all equally. You made me give them a ranking, and that's your fault.
Everything's my fault. So regular. Number 7 is Glitter. Number 6, Music Box. 5 is Caution. Merry Christmas at number 4. Mariah Carey at number 3, the debut, of course. Number 2, The Emancipation of Mimi, and number 1, Butterfly, because that's such a regular answer, isn't it, really?
It's And as I said at the time, if you had asked me to rank them without having listened to them all again,
yes,
that would have been very different. But listening to Butterfly again after a long time of, not listening to it, I was like,
and analysing it with the podcast.
It's just, and I feel like I still feel like Daydream is like the launching ramp to land at Butterfly. It's still good. But,
great. I think he's,
she's just done so much better stuff in between.
All right, and then my list at number 15 was Charm Bracelet. Merry Christmas to You was number 14. Emotions at 13. Memoirs at 12. 11 was Rainbow. 10, correctly, was Butterfly. 9 was Caution.
Death.
8 was Glitter. I mean, there is there. Like, Lambily had some opinions for me.
Yes.
I don't remember where I was. 9 Caution,
surprised.
8 was Glitter, 7 was Emancipation, 6 Music Box, 5 Mariah. Even I don't know why that's there. 4
you loved it.
I know, but why? 4 just because of the three great songs, 3 really good songs. 4 was the debut Mariah Carey. 3 was Merry Christmas. 2 was E = MC Squared, just because it has a 2 in it. It made sense. And number 1 was, of course, correctly, Daydream. So I did have something else that I wanted to touch on, because since we're bringing up how horrible I am in regular, I found this, because you know how I'm sad. Like
yes.
Yes, you know this. Sometimes
sad as in pathetic, or sad as in depressed?
Pathetic.
Because you are.
But I mean,
know
a
you
little
can
from column A, a little from column B. But in this situation, just pathetic. Okay. So somehow, I don't even know how I discovered this, but on the YouTubes, there are people who do like reviews, and like there'll be like a vocal coach who'll go over a performance, and often they'll touch on Mariah because, MVP of all time.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And
bigger than the Beatles.
There is someone who I stumbled across during lockdown just to have on in the background while I was working, and it's a guy called Enlightened Jesse. He's from Canada and he's very cute, so that's why I watched. Yeah. And he
you're not even looking at him while you're doing your work.
From the corner of my eye, I would.
Occasional.
And so anyway, he does Discog Journeys. So you just pop it on and you listen to him go through someone's entire discography. And he did both Mariah Carey and a regular person's. And I just want to point out, just to touch on a couple of things that he has said, so that I'm not alone in being a prolo piece of shit. Firstly, wasn't so fond of the beautiful ones, which helps me feel better.
Right.
But
that came on the other day when I listened to my Butterfly 25, and I'm like, no, I stand by it. It's still good. Do you want Cisco? Throw me away.
But we're specifically talking about Theme from Mahogany in this moment. So this was the Mariah Discog Journey, and this was released May 13, 2020. This is a quote from the channel. This is not me speaking. This is from Enlightened Jesse, so cancel him if you have to cancel anyone. I did not like this cover at all. I haven't heard the original version of the song, so I can't compare the two, but there was something off about this cover. I've listened to her whole discography, and I'm no vocal expert, obviously. I know nothing about music, which doesn't help my case. But as I was listening to this song, there was something off about the vocals. They seemed strained a little bit, and I don't know what it was, but I was not into it at all. Maybe it's just me, but she didn't sound her best in this track, and she didn't make the song very memorable, in my opinion. This is where I was like, there is something that I can't put my finger on that just didn't quite work.
I think she's not had enough vocal rest that week.
It's the vocal rest.
Because I would say a similar thing affects I Still Believe. Like, it sounds a bit strained.
Sure.
And I think they were recorded around the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The number one's album was a difficult, because she didn't want to do it.
Yeah, true.
And she kept throwing songs at it probably at the last minute. She goes, I'm just going to sing this at 3 o'clock in the morning. What have you got? I'll do a Diana Ross. Come on, let's go. Brenda K. Starr. Come on, we'll do that one.
So then 12 months later, Feb 11, 2021, he did his regular discography. Whatever that is. He was in the regular verse. And I don't think he remembered Mariah's version.
Right.
And he says, This song was absolutely beautiful. Her vocals on this track are so tender and sweet and delicate, and I love the melody, and I generally like everything about this song. Now, I'm only bringing it up so that you cancel him and not me.
Yeah, but you said the same thing.
Pretty much. But it's
so you're pre-cancelled and this is post-cancelled.
I'm like prelude. It's a whole thing.
Prelude.
But the main reason isn't
cancellation.
It isn't that a regular person is a better singer than Mariah, because that's just not true in any universe. I think it's that I couldn't put my finger on that there is something NQR going on.
I think it was her. Yeah, I think Mariah's voice is too strong for that kind of piddly
even holding
song.
It back, then it just seems weird. It's like you're Mariah, just sing it.
When's the belt?
So I just wanted to basically throw him under the bus is essentially why I brought that up.
Because I think so. For me, what I think has happened is she did such an amazing job with Luther Vandross of Endless Love, which is a very similar song structurally. It's it's Diana Ross, just being melodic and delightful as she is. And so she's gone to do Mahogany, which is, not that different, but she doesn't have Luther to play against. Yes. And it's because Endless Love has a couple of key changes. It ramps up a bit. It's kind of, there's a lot going on. Whereas Mahogany is just a little drive down a straight road.
Yeah.
And the last thing Mariah has ever done in her life is a little drive down a straight road. Yeah. If anything, she needs to be parading up and down on the back of a float. That's
it's Mariah Gras instead of Mardi Gras. Who's Marty? It's Mariah.
Yeah. She's she loves when Miguel runs red lights. She's
which worries me.
Yeah, I know. I know you're terrified of that. But so I think that's part of the problem is her trying to be restrained. It's great when it's she writes a great song for her voice. That's like that. Bliss from Rainbow is one of those songs that is just beautiful, and it's really, it kind of just meanders along in that style. But because she's playing around with her whistle notes and she's layering the vocals a bit more, and I just, I agree. I don't think it's her best vocal performance, Mahogany, by any stretch of the imagination. But I reckon it was just one of those things. It's I hit it right out of the ballpark with Endless Love. Let's have another crack at Diana. And
like you said, maybe she didn't really ever want to be there.
Yeah, I think it was just padding, it was just padding out songs for the number ones. It was,
I don't. She didn't even really want to do the number ones because there are songs that she loves more that weren't hits. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and also there's also for that album, there's a remix of. Did we touch on it? Of I Still Believe, where she adds in Pure Imagination from
because there was a video, so I think I pushed not.
Yeah. And again, that's a much better fit for her voice, even though it, again, is a similar thing. Pure Imagination is a fairly straightforward, sweet song.
Yeah.
And she's great at it, but I think it's just, it was neither a big belty ballad nor a sweet, layered, slow jam. So it just kind of,
Do you reckon that this is when Tommy and a regular person swooped in and they're like, that's not her best. We can put out something. You can do something with that. Don't sing Open Arms, but you can probably sing Mahogany.
Yeah, I know you won't. I know you won't manage a 70s man ballad all by myself or without you.
You can't do that. I think
but you can probably warble along to Diana Ross. We've got one at the shops.
It's getting dubbed off.
It's getting dubbed off at the shops. But look, I don't think Jennifer's is any good.
I'm laughing also that you said her name. I was like, what? I don't know
Jennifer.
I don't know who that is. It's a regular
all
name.
Syllables.
Heather.
Jennifer. I don't think it's any good. And I don't think it's Mariah's best work. And you know, this is one of those ones that's maybe a cover that is deceptively difficult to do, like every single ABBA song ever recorded.
Oh God, yeah.
Not a single person has managed it. Like it is.
Well, it's because you can't like they're so well layered.
Yeah.
Voices, you just can't.
It's a really subtle harmony that they have. Yeah. Like sometimes it's just singing, you know, the same, and sometimes there's a tiny bit of harmonizing going on, but their voices are so like perfectly matched, and it's such a beautiful tone that they've produced together that no one can do it justice, whether in another duet or on their own. And I've seen that musical a couple of times, and it's always shrill.
Do you know my favorite thing that's happening at the moment? You know that the new ABBA Voyage.
Yes, Voyage. I keep calling it Voyage because it's like
Voyage.
Voyage.
The audience is going, you know, they'll post the photos. You know, now if they were like, that was so much fun, they did such a good job of putting it together, that would make sense. But people are like, they were great, I'm going again tomorrow. As if it's gonna be like they did such a good job tonight. Yep. I hope they're as good tomorrow. Like, what is happening?
I had someone say, but aren't they just out the back doing it? And it's just their younger version. I'm like, no, they did it months in advance. It's pre-recorded, and they're just all back off in their mansions in Sweden. Like, like it's the.
You're going to see an installation.
I thought they were playing, and you know, it was motion captured. It's just they didn't want to be in front of the audience. I'm like, no, nothing to do with that.
No, it's like when I did it once. You're not really in that wine glass, guys. So yeah. I don't know.
I kind of want to go in as well. I would.
Oh, I'd totally go, but I wouldn't afterwards. You know how what a great thing.
You know how what I would compare it to is when you go on a roller coaster and you go, "That was great. Let's line up again." Even though the line was 90 minutes and the roller coaster was 10 seconds, let's line up again.
Thinking the show is great is one thing, but thinking they were really good, like they sounded really good tonight. Like what if you go on Thursday, they'll be a bit tired. Like it doesn't make any sense.
You never know. The solar batteries might have run down.
It's like, you know what? Benny was good, but Agneta was just all over the place. You know, my God.
Yeah. Bjorn missed a couple of notes.
Frida fainted halfway through. She was just so tired, night after night.
No, I got to go home with a hanky that one of them wiped her brow with. Hang on, what?
Now it's just air, but I really enjoyed it at the time.
You could fetch your own ABBA turd, just like Guy Pearce in Priscilla, and you go, it's just clear water. I go, yeah, it's a virtual ABBA turd. I followed Agneta's hologram into the toilet.
She was in there forever.
Forever. She never came out.
She's still in there. All right. Now, we should actually do the episode. One of the things that came up is Mariah MC Carey fan page on Twitter sent a list, but also requested a new song for this little Lambily list section, which I was worried I couldn't get to because I've had to be on vocal rest just like Mariah. Yes. But I did manage to bounce something
I could have done it for you in a very regular style. Yes. You know.
If we ever do a regular list.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing? Yeah. No?
Thank you. But no, I did manage last night to just smash something out. And so here is the debut of the new interlude. Within an interlude, if you will.
Oh my God. It's an interlude.
Yes, of Lambily lists.
Lists. And you thought we were done with the list, but the lists keep on listing. And you're sending them in. And you keep sending me lists, and I gotta count them all. I don't mind though. I don't mind, cause I love the Lambily. I've been loving your list. Keep on giving me the list, cause I love them mainly when Daydream is the number one. I don't care where Butterfly goes. You can love it all you want.
I want to hear it again.
Do it, okay. And go.
No, I'm not doing that to anyone.
Just play the Get Smart music.
It's like... it's like the like, is it Rainbow with all the interludes? And it's like just you go, oh, here's another one. I like this one. This is fun.
Yeah. What happened was I did the first 10 seconds and I was like, there's the sting. But I was like, but this is a request. I've got, so like Mariah after Jimmy Fallon, I just kept going. Okay. And as you mentioned off air, I end up sounding a bit like Anastasia. That's not uncommon. Left outside alone.
Left outside alone, chained up like a dog.
Oh my goodness.
Whenever I heard Left Outside Alone, I just thought, oh, like a dog in the yard, waiting for someone to come home.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no real method to this madness, but what I've got is the Lambily that has sent in lists and little notes and bits and pieces. We're just going to go, we'll touch on some of the lists, touch on how it reflects with ours and how they differ. And then I've done some math, as mentioned, via Google.
Oh, yeah, some Google math.
All right. So we're going to start with Paul. Big friend of the podcast.
Hey, Paul. The other podcast will be back soon, just letting you know.
We don't, which the regular verse? No. Your podcast.
No. Paul is also into Adam Richard Has a Theory, my Doctor Who podcast.
Oh, is it on hiatus?
Yeah, it's been on hiatus for a little while. I had the load.
Singular of hiatus.
Hiatus is a singular. I think plural would be hiati.
Yeah.
More than one, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I just made all of that up. So Paul has committed and has actually gone and listened to every album once.
Paul is a delight.
Because Paul was a bit like me, knew bits and pieces, but has gone back and discovered from the beginning. But before we get into the top 15, has actually sent us a little bit of a favourite and a not favourite from each album.
Excellent.
So we'll look at that. So starting with the Mariah Carey debut, favourite is Someday, least favourite is All in Your Mind.
Oh, controversial.
I'm trying to think what was my least favourite.
See, All in Your Mind kind of was kind of embedded in my psyche from the First Visions VHS tape, where she and the backing singers were just hanging out and giving it a bit of a...
she squeals, yes.
Yeah. Baby, it's all
this is good. Paul can check that out while we're discussing. Emotions.
And it also, the Someday was never my favourite until the blistering version from MTV Unplugged. And it was like, all right. You've sold me.
If I have to. For emotions, favourite was Can't Let Go. Least favourite was If It's Over. I feel like that's relatively fair. Music Box favourite was Dream Lover and least favourite was Music Box. I don't know much about people's opinion on the Music Box song. I wasn't huge on it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it just because it's kind of a gear change. It's kind of nice and sweet. And it does have the Music Box sound at the start.
That's true. From Merry Christmas, this is controversial. Favourite is Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
That is fun. It is.
That is fun. But least favourite is Oh Holy Night. Paul.
Oh, Paul.
Are you okay?
Look, he has listened to it outside of the festive era.
True.
And that sometimes
so it's upside down. Yeah,
that sometimes can make you lose the spirit of Christmas because it's not in the air. Once you mainlining those delicious fruit mince pies.
That was your nickname in high school?
Yep. Once you're jacking those right in every day because you can't walk past them in Coles, then I'm telling you, Oh Holy Night really feels a need. And also when you hear other people singing it really badly, every shop you go into, when you hear the Mariah one, you're like, oh, this hits the sweet spot.
Yeah, no, it's just a favourite of mine. From Daydream, favourite was One Sweet Day and least favourite was Daydream Interlude, which I kind of get from it's not a song, like it's an interlude. So
it's a dance mix, and the 12.5-minute version is amazing.
Which you sent me.
I did. It's the closing number.
This I can get on board with. Butterfly, favourite was The Roof, least favourite was The Beautiful Ones.
Wow.
What? You are correct,
You're both
Paul.
prolo pieces of shit.
There is mention of that, actually. Rainbow, favourite was Petals, least favourite, Did I Do That? I feel like that's fairly fair.
Oh yeah.
Did I do that? I don't know. Glitter, favourite was All My Life. Least favourite, Last Night, A DJ Saved My Life. I think All of My Life was my least favourite from that, maybe.
Is that the one she sings All My Life?
What does she sing with the guy in the studio who's already famous but they're not really singing and she's eating M&Ms?
Oh, with Eric Benet.
Yes.
Is that On My Life? I can't even remember.
Maybe it's not.
now.
No, that song. It was my least favourite. All right, Charm Bracelet, favourite, Bringing On the Heartbreak, and least favourite, You Got Me. Now, if I could remember any of Charm Bracelet, I'd have an opinion, but I don't. I just remember that Bringing On the Heartbreak, I wanted it to be rockier. You Got Me could be literally any song.
Want You was the one from
right,
with Eric
that's
Benet.
my least favourite from Glitter. The Emancipation of Mimi was favourite was Wish You Knew, and least favourite was Get Your Number. Controversial, Paul.
Oh yeah,
that was a minor hit. Like, it wasn't a hit, but it was a hit.
The club's about to close in a minute.
Damn.
I will say it's difficult. Yeah, the giant couch. It's difficult to choose a least favourite from Emancipation because there's so much on there, and they're all hits. Hits and
so many hits and shits and hurts. Let's not forget.
Shits and hurts.
E equals MC squared. Favourite was I'm That Chick, and least favourite was I Wish You Well. Now, I love that album, and they're probably the two songs I remember the least. So I'm like, great. I think I remember I'm That Chick.
I like I Wish You Well. I think it's sweet.
I think I like that too. Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. The favourite was Languishing, which I did love. The Languishing,
yeah, that's great. That's a great interlude.
This is controversial because the least favourite is Obsessed.
Look, again, I can understand that if you've never really been a huge Mariah fan and then you hear her hooking into the auto-tune, you'll be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I will say, this is one of the lead singles that took me the longest to sort of get.
Yeah.
But now it's got some of my favourite lyrics. Like,
also, it was a moment in time. The whole Mariah Eminem bitch fest that was going on in the news. It was a thing. So without that context and without that history, I can see it being, someone's least favourite from that album. Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah. I'm not okay with it, but I can understand it.
Merry Christmas to You. The favourite song was One Child with the choir.
I love that
one. Was Old Lang Syne, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, that's some strange weirdness going on there. I think
it's brilliant, but in a terrible, it's terrible, but in a great way.
It is literally camp.
So
it is so insane that it's kind of hysterical and comes out the other side.
And then let's do a video for it, Mariah says.
Oh my gosh. I'll dance in front of a green screen. You can just put some fireworks there. That'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be great. Memes.
You know what I would have loved is, like, in her head, she'd be like, I'll go to those places where the fireworks are, and then they say, no, I'm not doing that. There'll be too much actual wind.
I can't. I don't want to see anyone. Me, I Am Mariah, the favourite was You Don't Know What to Do, and Supernatural was the least favourite. I can respect this decision.
Yeah, we didn't love Supernatural.
And we did love You Don't Know What to Do, so I'm here for it. And Caution, the favourite was GTFO, Get the Fuck Out.
Yeah.
And the least favourite was Giving Me Life, which I also thought was a little controversial.
Yeah, I loved Giving Me Life. But maybe because it's long. Like
it's different.
It feels like it stops and then keeps going.
The vocal is a lot grittier.
Yeah.
Like than Mariah normally does, so maybe it was a shock. Yeah. Especially listening all at once. But
on a quick 10-track album where everything's around four and a bit minutes, like the 6-minute song, I can understand being the one that makes you go, yeah, no, that one just kept going.
But even I didn't mind the 6-minute one.
I know. I was impressed. But because all the other ones had been short, you were like, yeah, you're allowed to have a long one. Matron.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, now we've got Paul's list. Now, I'm not going to go 15-1 on every single person's list, but I'm just going to point out some highlights. So, least favourite, Merry Christmas to You. Bang at number 15. Controversially, has Butterfly at number 10, just like me. I guess what's number 1?
Also Daydream.
Yes. But High Praise for Emotions, number 3.
Oh,
Paul loves some emotions.
Bless. It's an emotional album. It is. It's also her voice is incredible on it. Even the songs that are not amazing. Like it's like
yeah. I think the other controversial one was number 14 was Merry Christmas.
Oh, the first Merry Christmas.
First Merry Christmas. And then we have a few little notes here as well, which I thought were interesting and or funny. So this was interesting to me. So Paul says that he remembers Honey from when he was younger, but listening to the whole album now, it feels like an aberration to the rest of the songs. Is that the right word? Aberration? Did I just use that correctly? Which I actually don't disagree with. I think because when I think of Butterfly, I think of quite personal. And even though Honey is personal, it's lighter than I think a lot of the rest of the album. It's a
ditty. It's the only ditty on there. So
is there? There was no other ditties?
So. I don't think there were any other ditties.
He was really
we heard
writing that other album.
What a mess he made of J-Lo. All the bad songs on that were ditties. Like all the bad ones.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because you would think that would be the opposite anyway.
Because they were rooting. Well, they were at least driving around in a car throwing guns out the window.
Wee! Like Oprah with guns.
You get a gun. You get a gun.
Look on your receipt. Now, Paul didn't resonate with the Christmas albums, which is fine. Not everyone does.
Because it wasn't Christmas.
Festive time, exactly.
Yeah.
But this was my favourite thing. The 1:35 mark, like 1 minute 35 second mark of "Oh Come All Ye Faithful" video clip, I honestly thought was a South Park parody. I thought Trey Parker and Matt Stone were pulling my leg. Then I found out that's Patricia. So then I went and watched it and I was like, yeah, if you didn't know what's about to happen, it would sound like a bit of a South Park moment. Yeah. It should be half the singer, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Paul also thinks that the sample from last night, A DJ Saved My Life, was done better in If You're Getting Down by Five. So that's an opinion.
I love a 5 reference. If you get down.
I feel like I remember the song, but I didn't go back to listen. But I'm just curious to hear the Lamblies' response to that one. But an interesting note was this cover chosen by MC due to the fact that the title contains DJ, which is short for disc jockey, but also the initials of Derek Jeter. Gasp.
No, I think it's because it was Glitter wasn't, the character was a DJ that she was reading. Like Max Beasley was playing a DJ.
That's true. Maybe he was meant to be Derek Jeter. And kept kissing Terrence Howard.
He never kissed Terrence Howard.
Didn't he know?
It's just in your imagination.
I don't know if I was imagining that much because there was chemistry.
There was some chemistry.
He
did shoot at him at the end of the movie.
I mean, was it to the face?
With his phallic symbol.
And Paul also said that he's quite fond of Regular Lopez, with Waiting for Tonight and Play being a couple of favourites. So I think Paul's been enjoying the regular verse as well.
I said I enjoyed Play, and I thought it was a great Christina Milian song.
It is a great Christina Milian song. Now, Paul also sent us like a little selection of songs that he would burn to a disc to have his own Mariah album. But we're actually going to do an episode like that where we pick our Mariah album. So I think I'll save that and for then, and then if the Lambily want to get involved, we can do a similar thing where we ramble like we are. On to our next Lambily. This is Christian on Instagram who said, I love to listen to you guys. Always listening on a run and loved the rankings. To put Butterfly at 10 is offensive, but will be forgiven.
I love the irony of us sitting here getting fatter while somebody's exercising.
Yes.
Me spreading out to film a chair.
Oh my God. So at 15, in last place, Merry Christmas to you. I hear you. It feels like a cash in. It's South Park parody. It's all
it's got Piggy Patricia on it. I can understand it. Like I can understand putting it last. It's there are some things on it I love though.
Christian also apologized to Glitter for putting it at number 13.
That's fine.
We've yet to hear from Glitter's reps, but we'll see.
It's had justice. It doesn't. It can't be retried.
Now, Christian subscribes to the Fab.
Double indemnity. You can't retry glitter after it gets justice.
Christian subscribes to the Fab school of thoughts on Daydream, which I think that college has now gone under. But it's saying, yes, it has hits, but it's not not an album that he listens to in full.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of hits Christian. That, you know.
I'm making so many enemies. I'm really quite nice, but Emotions at number 7, halfway through. So Emotions is getting a little bit of love.
Emotions is great.
And number 4,
are we going to have justice for Emotions? Is that going to come? I mean, it made a ton of money, so it doesn't matter.
I think Emotions is okay. Number 4, Memoirs, saying, I'm a sucker for lyrics and here are some of her best lyrics, which echoes what you have said.
I absolutely adore the lyrics.
Actually shares the top 1 and 2 spots with you with Butterfly and Emancipation, but does more correctly have E = MC squared at number 3. So I appreciate that one of my favourite albums is up there.
Well, it is part 2 of them, of, Emancipation, realistically. That's what it stands for.
Exactly. Did say there is no way Butterfly is not number 1. And all I can say is look at my list, Christian. Look at my list.
Yeah, it's an incorrect ranking.
I'm the one with the note app open. I can put things wherever the hell I want.
But I am the long-term lamb. I have been here the longest. I have been here since, the first single was a tape. I can bring it out now and show it to you if you want.
Like a single. But Christian said that he honestly never listens to the old stuff in full, but has gone back to some songs, especially after listening to our podcast.
Bless you. Thank you for joining in. It's nice to know someone else is listening to the albums when we are.
I think he's probably going for runs to try to run away from us. But we just keep following. And also says that I only listen to Caution on vinyl and Butterfly mostly. So they're like the full albums that we're on board with, even though I think Caution came in at number 5. So there's a few in between, Christian. But
Caution, as we've said, is perfect. It's just that, there are other amazing ones. It's like, I think my Caution was 5, wasn't it? Or
Caution kind of got pushed back here and there and everywhere.
I put Caution at number 1 because I'm like, this album is perfect. And then as I started filling out the list, it just kept getting pushed down by other albums. I'm like, I'm sorry, Caution.
So's Caution.
Caution.
We've got KVO on Insta. Poor Merry Christmas IIU is back at Lucky Last. And Merry Christmas at number 14. So we've got a few people who aren't loving the Christmas. They're not as festive as us, but it's probably because it's not that time. It's not yet.
It's not that time. And also maybe like me, they can't listen to it outside of there. So it was difficult. It was a difficult thing to even turn it on.
Yes, exactly.
Like outside of Christmas hours.
Glitter's pushing up to 7 on KVO's list, so getting a little bit more justice for Glitter here. Mm-hmm. Emotions top 5, E = MC squared at number 4, which we love, and the top 2 again matching yours. What is happening?
What is happening? What is happening is that people have correct opinions about Butterfly.
I mean, look, if you ask me, people shouldn't have opinions at all. So.
Then why are we doing this podcast?
I have no idea. At this point, everyone's like, what is going on? Are they okay? Yeah. No.
No, we've not been okay since the beginning. Have you seen the title of this podcast? We thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. But KVO did add, by the way, I love your podcast. As much as I love Mariah, keep going with the regular verse. We will, KVO. So it's not my fault anymore. Not my fault anymore. As KVO says, every single album. And it just, you got to go
regular. It really hurts me. It's a difficult, and I've got.
It's interesting, isn't it?
I went to some weird racism town. Last time we went to the regular verse, it was a hot mess. It was difficult.
It's like what's the story? Is it the Odyssey at the 7 gates of hell or whatever it is?
I don't even know.
I think it's like an old school.
It's 9 circles of hell,
something like that, and it's like a book or something. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
Smart.
Paradise Lost. John Milton. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think it's older than that. I think it's like Jesus.
The Bible.
Times. Like Homer's Odyssey or something.
Oh, that's before. Yeah. Oh, you mean like the trials of Hercules and that kind of shit?
Sure. I preferred Xena, but whatever, Hercules. Case Orby's cancelled, but it's fine.
I feel like Mariah taught me so much about racism in her book that I just got angry at the regular verse.
Well, I mean, we should
bringing
be
racism into my ears.
We should be angry at racism. Let's be very clear.
Yeah, but I may have put one bit of racism and another bit of racism together and made J-Lo into an entire Nazi party.
That's true. That is true. I mean, that's the regular verse. Everything gets confusing.
Everything's confusing. That's true. Yes. Anyway, KVO.
But yeah, KVO loves the regular verse, so we're just going to keep powering through until Mariah releases a new album. The next one is Music Boy on Twitter. Again, number 15. Merry Christmas to you in last place. 14 Glitter. Like, no justice for Glitter for Music Boy.
Oh, no.
But is loving a bit more of Merry Christmas and Caution. They're 7 and 6. Emancipation at 4. Butterfly at number 2.
Oh, my God. That's, it's still up in the top. Like, you had a number 10.
Guess what's on top? It's Daydream.
Is it Daydream? That's fine.
Correct,
Daydream's, as I said, it's a good album. Like,
I don't think that's what you said at all. I don't think that's what you said at all.
No, I just say it doesn't hang together as well as some of them.
You said it was thick in the middle, which is fat shaming Daydream just seems not okay.
You're putting words in my mouth. And they were tasty, and I ate them.
Stop fat shaming Daydream.
No wonder I'm getting fat. You keep putting words in my mouth, and I think they're pies.
Shouldn't that make you lose weight? If it was pies, that would be the problem. Anyway, I've eaten lots of pies.
Calories in all these words.
But also, Music Boy gave some love to Rainbow at number 3. I think that might be the highest I've seen Rainbow.
Again, I had Rainbow very high when I, first started the list, and it just kept dropping further down. Yeah. I do love all those interludes.
And we've got a new one now for our podcast.
I know.
That goes forever. Dirty Jane.
Am I playing one in between each one of these?
Absolutely.
No.
I just get more and more Anastasia, and I'm actually just singing Left Outside Alone at the end. Dirty Jane with 2 R's on Twitter. Once more, number 15. Jane. Merry Christmas, IIU, and Glitter at 14. We have a consensus starting to form.
Yeah.
We have called E equals MC squared Einstein, which I appreciate. That comes in at number 11. And Charm Bracelet is Charmy, which is cute because that's the name of Charmed fans. So I assume
Charmies.
It's the Alyssa Milano connection we've all been looking for.
Just you. When you say we all, you mean you.
I did the other day look on my stories and I screenshot it because it was Alyssa Milano, Mariah, and then a regular person. I was like, we need to move Alyssa between them to keep them apart.
Yeah, that's
She's
very,
the one
sensible.
person who can keep peace between Mariah's world and the regular verse from her space command in Christine Lardy in space. So that's one of her jobs. Is
Even
just keeping
Derek
them
Jeter
apart.
was into Alyssa Milano.
Exactly. Where am I? Okay, again. So Memoirs at number 3. We're getting some love for Memoirs. The lyrics, darling. And I mean,
the lyrics.
Just a casual Butterfly at number 2 and Daydream at number 1. I'm just saying.
Dirty
Jane gets it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, if there was a 0 after that 2 for Butterfly, that would be more correct. But next week we're going to be doing Butterfly 25, and I'm going to be like, I love this song, and this one's really good too.
You're going to be all over it. You're going to
Exactly.
be like, what? How did I hate on this so much? What was wrong with me?
Every podcast needs an antagonist.
Until you hear the acapellas.
I am excited for the Outside one because the one thing that I didn't fully connect with on Outside was the production. So I feel like lyrically I'm going to connect to that much more just by itself.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So I'm here for that. So Mariah MC Carey fan page on Twitter. This is the person who asked for the interlude. So all of my bad opinions are erased by making the interlude.
Sure.
Now everyone has to love me forever.
If you didn't have opinions, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah. And like I said, I shouldn't. No one should. Nothing makes sense anymore. Okay, Lucky Last again. Merry Christmas, IIU. I think this seems to be the one that the
MC3U is not going to happen, obviously.
I think something tells me it actually might. Caution bringing in at number 6. So I feel like Caution is one that does. I think everyone has a similar thing with it, where it's like, oh, I really like this, but it just kind of keeps getting pushed. What else? We got Charm Bracelet at number 3. We're loving some Charm Bracelet. I mean, Daydream at number 8. That's some fab kind of thinking right there.
I love how you're excited about Charm Bracelet being at number 3, even though you hated that album. And then furious at Daydream for being at number 8.
It doesn't make any sense, and I never said I did.
Okay, good. Yeah, just checking.
This is not an episode about ranking me making sense, Fab. So,
oh my God, can you imagine that episode? That sounds like a regular verse episode.
It does, but does agree with you with Butterfly at number 1 and Emancipation of Mimi at number 2. So it's interesting that really Butterfly and Daydream do seem to be most people's favorites, and Emancipation is quite up there for most people as well. So that's a fun little thing to note. And we've got Lego on Instagram. Loving the podcast, saying that he's an old legacy lamb. His words, not mine.
Excellent.
Since the debut, and that for him it's all about the voice and the songs. Not as much of a fan of the rap,
right?
Hence the faves being from the heydays. Saying it was bloody difficult, but pretty much made it albums that he played from most to least. So coming at number 15, which makes sense if you're from, you know, the OG debut days. Number 15 is Caution because it's recent.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that
I understand. I can understand, especially because, you know, her voice is still amazing, but, you know, the early albums, it's terrifying. Like you're like, Jesus, this is incredible. Yeah. Like she's still better than a lot of people. You put out albums in the regular verse.
And the sort of the final 5 of Leo's list are pretty much post 2000. So 14 is Me I Am, 13 Charm Bracelet, 12 Memoirs, and 11 equals MC squared. But a bit of love for Merry Christmas to You at number 10.
Oh, bless.
It's not everyone's least favourite. Butterflies at number 6. Why even bother recording it, Mariah?
You had it at number 10.
I love that it's just become like, it's exactly right. It's like in the middle of my list, but it's really just that so many people put it at number 1 above Daydream.
Because it's a really good album.
Emotions at number 3. So we love the Emotions. Number 2, Daydream. You know, he gets it. And number 1, Music Box, which actually didn't get top 5 anywhere else. So I like,
and like I said,
Box got
if I did it purely from memory, Music Box probably would have been my number 1.
Yes.
But because I think from critically appraising them, from taking a step back, instead of going, as a Mariah fan, I love everything. Having to take a step back and go, do I love this? How do I love it? What's it, you know, what has this album got going for it? What's bad about it? You know, that kind of thing. And which is how I ended up with the order that I had. But Music Box still was fairly high because I have so much love for it.
Well, I will say, like, getting the Lambily, like bringing in lists at different times really changed the order of the outcome. So when I was putting it together, I was like, oh, cool, here's the list. But then one person would come along and it's like, boom, it's a totally different
everything
list.
Moves.
So I have calculated the Lambily top 15, if you are ready.
Right. I'm ready for the Lambily averages. Now, you haven't just like a dodgy butcher had your thumb on the scales to take it go up.
I did.
You don't know maths that well enough to be able to do that.
I did Eurovision calculating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, like if you're number 1, you get like 12 points, and if you're number 15, you get like nothing.
Well, basically, it was if you're number 1, you get 1 point. If you're 15, you get 15, and then the lowest score wins. That's how I did it.
Right.
So, coming in at number 15, Merry Christmas, IIU.
Yeah,
we knew it was coming.
We could smell that from miles away.
So is IIU. At number 14, Glitter.
Oh,
surprising,
that's sad.
Because of the justice.
Well, it's had justice, and it can't go back to jail now, so it's on parole.
Exactly.
SVU works anymore.
No one does. At number 13, this is controversial. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, because a lot of people had it fairly low down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 12, Me, I Am Mariah, the Ulysses Chanteuse. Not super surprised. This kind of makes sense to me.
I had it fairly low down. There are some bangers on it, but also
that's why it was higher on mine.
There's some weird shit.
Yeah. At 11.
Supernatural.
It's the nostalgia. At number 11, Charm Bracelet, which also kind of checks out.
Well, again, it's the too many songs problem. Same with Me, I Am Mariah. Like when you have too many songs, eventually you're going to get sick of them.
Yeah. And then you might miss some really great ones at the end. Well, on Mariah, not on Charm Bracelet. Number 10, Rainbow. This seems relatively the consensus that it's sort of within everyone's top 10s. But not it
does. It's also she's, she and Diane Warren, I don't think gelled as well as they could have. And also it was kind of like, I've got to get this album out because I'm leaving.
Yeah,
like I've had lunch with the president of Sony, and I've got to get out. The franchise is moving ships.
Exactly. So, I gotta get me some sleep. Number 9, Caution. So it managed to climb up a little bit from a few of the lower places. At number 8, controversial, Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. I think people like it better than we did.
Well, like I said, the lyrics are incredible. Like it is lyrically one of her best albums. Like everything, there's some great shade. Like there's some beautiful allusions going on. The poetry is beautiful. It's fun. Like the lyrics are fun. I just didn't love the production, I don't think.
And it's the 4 or 5 songs in a row.
There's a few. Yeah, which all of them still have great lyrics. It's just a bit, samey after a while.
At number 7, getting some, I think this is getting traction over our list, is Emotions.
Yeah.
People, again, it's the
I love
nostalgia.
Emotions.
At number 6, which actually matches with our lists, is Music Box.
Yeah.
So 666 all over it.
Evil.
It's evil now. If you listen to the
It
Music
invokes
Box,
the regular verse.
Yeah, that's how this all happened.
That's why she has such long hair. She didn't want anyone to see a 666 tattoo under there. Birthmark.
I don't think anyone has real hair in Hollywood. It's just quietly. At number 5, The Debut, which works for me. I feel like definitely feels top 5-y.
Well, also 4, it's like for, people like yourself, it's a recent discovery because, it happened when you were not born.
I don't even know if I've been born yet, based on how much sense I'm making today. Have I learned to talk? I don't think so. No. Number 4, E = MC squared. Here for it.
Oh, wow.
At number 3, Daydream. We love to see it in the top 5. Or should be number 1.
Was not number 1, was it? As much as you were hoping for it.
It sort of finds ways if I really strain.
No, even 2, you can't do that maths.
I could give it a crack. Number 2, Emancipation. And of course, at number 1. Butterfly. Celebrating its 25th minute of existence.
Yeah. And like a normal butterfly, dies after 25 minutes.
Yeah. So you're living in a world where it's still within the 25 minutes. I'm living where it's just died.
This is the irony of it being called Butterfly, is that a butterfly lives for a day and is gone.
Yes.
But this album has just persisted. It has lived.
I will say,
I think it's the only Mariah Carey album in that 1001 albums you should hear before you die book.
Yeah, true. I also feel like this album, as in Butterfly, it wasn't the hit at the time that it's sort of become. Like, I feel like it's the Lambily love that has sort of catapulted this album to the top. Versus
and she was having trouble, with the label and the soon-to-be ex-husband and
even I don't think the singles were as big a hits as the singles from the previous 2 albums.
And I think they were released badly. Like, I don't think they were
timing from memory. Like, Honey was a hit. Like, Honey, certified hit, absolutely. People know Butterfly and The Roof and My All, but I don't remember as much of it.
Was Breakdown released? I remember.
I think it was, but
that being around a lot.
I don't remember the much on the video hits or the 101.1 double TFMs, you know?
Well, you know why? It's because it had the rappers on it, and certain radio stations, I don't want to call them racist, but they didn't play certain songs.
And it's also kind of your brand to just
call people racist. I don't want to call people racist, but here I go.
Here's a list.
Here's a list of people who've never said anything vaguely close to racism, but I've decided.
Now, some interesting little factoids about this list. Daydream and Butterfly flailed wildly, like more than any other albums.
Wow.
And while Butterfly nudged out, they both received the same amount of number one votes. So
wow, that's fascinating. But just more people had Daydream further down the bottom is what you're saying.
Well, the one that came in between was Emancipation, which never got a number one.
No.
Not a single number one. But was a lot of like 2s and 3s. So that's how it nudged out because you put Daydream at number 8.
That wasn't me. I wasn't the only one.
I don't know.
Someone had it number
10. This one doesn't include our rankings, but I have done those. But just to touch on some others, E equals MC squared was either top 5 or bottom 5. Not a verse CD, that one. Caution, Memoir's debut and music.
Not a verse
I don't even understand anymore. Caution, Memoir's debut and music box tended to hang around between 5 and 10. So somewhere in everyone's middle. Emotions was also all over the place. Glitter never made it to the top 5. Justice for Glitter.
Oh.
Everyone's list.
I had Glitter very high because I loved it during the.
I had it somewhere in the middle, like high middle.
I went, this is so solid. This is like such a, this album feels like from now.
Every list except for one put Merry Christmas to You last.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of the top 5 Lambily albums are also our top 5 Lambily albums.
Wow.
Makes sense. So we're, it's more than 2. Now, just to give you an idea of the difference, just for the top 5, if we count the Lambily calculations with our calculations, it brings E equals MC squared in at number 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariah Carey debut at number 4. Daydream at number 3. Butterfly at number 2. And The Emancipation of Mimi at number 1.
How is that?
Right? I think it's because Emancipation had so many 2s.
Yeah.
So it was,
just like Hero, it was a steamy.
It was a steamy number 2 that went to number 1. And then just between ours, so yours and mine, I've done the math. Our top 5 would come out at Butterfly at number 5. It's because of my score. Emancipation at number 4. This is what makes it interesting. It totally throws everything around. Daydream at number 3. And then I think the 2 albums that essentially are tied, which that'd be the albums that are safest for us to listen to together, are Merry Christmas and the debut.
Wow.
So they're our albums. If it's like we don't want to have, a mud wrestling fight in the middle of Christmas, they're our 2 albums to put on. And we'll just enjoy it. So that's essentially...
Don't want to be a prisoner.
Do not. Taylor Dane's there. It's a whole thing. Now, quickly, before we wrap it up, because it's already at a million hours, we have officially clocked over 20,000 downloads.
Oh, thanks, everyone.
Right? We are a hit and a shirt, as it turns out.
Hit and a shirt.
If I thought about it, I would have done like a shirt or something.
Shush.
But you won't because of copyright.
We are almost home. That was quite a journey through some lists. I love a list. And you have thank you for collating those lists and putting them in a machine that does math so you didn't have to.
Yeah. I don't know who I am at this point, and I don't think I made any sense during this episode, so you're welcome.
Well, I think one of the reasons you have not been making sense is because someone released their debut album this week.
Well, I announced.
When does it come out? When can we get it? When is it? Where is it?
Out November 28th.
Ooh.
It is available for pre-order now, though. So this is what's gone up. The pre-order for the digital, the vinyl, the CD. I even did vinyl and CDs.
You did do vinyl.
I
was offered a vinyl when I went to the regular dome. And I was like, no, let that be for someone, you know. If there's one left when everyone's bought them, then I'll happily have a vinyl.
Okay. And I will sign it. Love, J-Reg.
J-Reg.
So, yeah, you can also pre-save it on Spotify. I'm trying to figure out how you can do like an iTunes pre-sale thing. That's a little bit different.
Order thing.
And I think I can ship internationally as well. So we'll see how that goes. But if you want...
You should be able to. It'll be fine.
I think so. Jump over to possibleprincex.com. And there's the little store on there, and you can do all of the purchasing. And there's going to be some bundles coming, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and it's nice too. Like, I'm a designer, so I made it look real schmick.
Yeah.
180 gram vinyl. Like, I'm not an idiot. I went full Mariah. I can't do quite as much.
Heavy one.
Yeah, I can't go as many bundles as Mariah does, but someday I will.
And
what about you?
Do you have is your vinyl recycled like Danny's latest?
I did see that. Let's say it is, sure. But I can't. What I do know is that the packaging for the CD is recycled.
There you go.
So
excellent.
I am trying. They just didn't have the option for other things.
No, I know.
But you know.
Well, congratulations on the album announcement. I'm looking forward to the release once it's out in the world.
I assume
you'll
it will
be licking many a stamp.
So much stamp.
So much licking. Will it be the back of Charles's head by the time you get to stick the stamps?
Oh my goodness! All of that just sounds real wrong. That's why I've been
lick
all
Camilla?
over the place. That's
like,
why. That's
Camilla
why
be a stamp?
the world has changed since we last recorded, and that's why I'm a mess.
It has been a very big change. So yeah, I've not got much going on. The return of Adam Richard Has a Theory is imminent, mainly because there's going to be an episode on. I want to talk about it, but I'm slowly clawing my way back out of the loathed, feeling a bit more normal. Not entirely okay, but a bit more normal. But yeah, I'm so excited about your album. Like, this
Me too.
How yay! I know,
like,
and you've got remixes out.
Did I do that? Yes, and more to come. There'll be more making it happening.
Oh my God, I'm going to make everything happen.
Well,
you know, I don't want to freak anyone out, but you know what happens when you release an album is you have to support it, as they say.
What does that mean?
That means you have to go and sing it somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm actually going to just rock up at Lambily's houses. I'm going to be running alongside Christian, or trying to, on a bike, on the back, in a car probably.
No, on the back of a truck, like a float.
Yes. At Mariah Gra. It'll be Mariah Gra.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with more Mariah. Next week, we're going to delve deep into Butterfly 25 because we have probably an entire episode of Mimi Moments. And there's a new video, so we're going to get a poshnopsis. I can't wait.
Yeah. And
it's going to be exciting. Also, I'm expecting some more moments, some more Butterfly 25 moments in the next week. So let's make sure we've got all of them together for a big, fat Mimi moment.
And we've got royalty included. So it's all happening.
It's very exciting.
All right.
All right. Bye, Lambily.
Bye.